Hey everyone, welcome back to Wait It Gets Better. This is episode 66 and today's topic is Down syndrome. This episode lacks a lot of story time in regards to relatability or anything in regards to that. So I'm diving into it with the different ways to make it lengthy as and informative as any other of my episodes have been. So this topic will definitely continue to have I'll definitely will continue to have episodes where I do not have relatability or story time. And I know in the beginning when I started this podcast, I started out with like the closed-minded mindset where I was like, oh, I'm only going to do topics where I have relatability. And could you imagine if I only did topics where I had relatability? And as a mental health advocate, I think it's very smart to kind of just open your mind to, advocating for other things other than things you can relate to. Like, I know my big thing is like I like to share stories from my life to help end the stigma of different topics, but definitely giving more information on other topics that I don't have relatability to is definitely something very helpful to other people. Like I said, I'm an advocate for mental health, and different topics where I don't have relatability is definitely something I'm going to approach more with a different, open mind to. So definitely let's dive in. Let's talk about it. So I asked the research, what is Down syndrome? And this is what it said. Down syndrome is a genetic condition caused by an extra copy of chromosome 21, trisomy 21, resulting in 47 chromosomes instead of the usual 46. It affects brain and body development, commonly leading to mild to moderate intellectual disabilities, developmental delays, and distinct physical features. It is the most common chromosomal condition, often leading to a long, healthy life. Key characteristics and symptoms. While individuals with Down syndrome have unique personalities and abilities, common traits include physical features, flattened facial profile, small nose with a flat bridge, almond-shaped eyes that slant up, short neck, and small ears, hands, and feet. That's just the physical features. Developmental delays, slower growth, delayed speech language development, and low muscle tone, which is called hypotonia. Cognitive impairment, mild to moderate intellectual disability is common. Health considerations, increased risk for congenital heart defects, hearing loss, eye disease, and thyroid issues. There's different types of Down syndrome, and these are the three genetic variations. Though they present with similar characteristics, the trisomy 21, the non-disjunction, roughly 95% of cases where every cell has 3 copies of chromosome 21 instead of 2. Translocation Down syndrome, about 3% of cases where an extra part or whole chromosome 21 is attached, translocated to another chromosome. Mosaic Down syndrome is roughly 2% of cases where only some cells have an extra chromosome 21, often resulting in fewer symptoms. Causes and risk factors. Down syndrome is not caused by actions of the parents, but by a random error in cell division non-disjunction. The only strongly linked risk factor is advanced maternal age. Although, due to higher birth rates among younger women, more children with Down syndrome are born to women under 35. Life expectancy and support. Advances in medicine have significantly improved life expectancy, which is now around 60 years. While it is a lifelong condition, support services such as physical, speech, and occupational therapy, along with specialized educational programs, help children with Down syndrome lead fulfilling lives. And I asked how it was discovered, and this is what it said. Down syndrome was clinically described by British physician John Langdon Down in 1866, but its genetic cause was discovered in 1959 by French researchers Jerome, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, Lejeune, Marthe Gautier, and Raymond Turpin. They identified the condition as a chromosomal abnormality, specifically as an extra copy of chromosome 21 known as the trisomy 21. The key discoveries in history. Initial clinical description in 1866, John Langdon Down first described the physical characteristics of the syndrome, though he did not identify the cause. Discovery and the cause in 1959. Working in Paris, the team of researchers, often with credit predominantly given to Lejeune and Gautier, used new cell culturing techniques to observe an extra chromosome in the cells of affected individuals. Affected, it kind of just, I don't like the way they worded that. It makes it seem like it's like a disease that, like, oh my god, if somebody has it, they're infected. Like, I don't like that wording. So don't I don't like that. Like I said, a lot of these things have a lot of different biases and wording that is kind of stigmatizing, and I will call it out. Like I said, I'm reading research and things that are being said. A lot of it is not has nothing to do with my opinion on anything, but I will call out if I don't like something. I will call it out. So we did that. Identification of chromosome 21. The extra chromosome was identified as the third copy of chromosome 21, establishing the condition as trisomy 21. Disputed recognition, while often historically attributed to Jerome Lejeune, key lab work was performed by Marthe Gautier, who was later recognized for her crucial it was a female. Interesting. It was a female. I wouldn't have thought that. Marthe Gautier. She was a female. Interesting. Her crucial role in the discovery. So a female discovered it. Wow. Interesting. I love that. The discovery was groundbreaking because it was the first time an intellectual disability was linked to a chromosomal abnormality founding the field of cytogenetics. Now, historically, people with Down syndrome face severe mistreatment, including institutionalization, abuse, and abandonment, often viewed as, I don't like what this is about to say, so I'm not going to read it. I'm going to read what it says. They're often viewed as burdens in older times. So until the late 20th century, many were separated from society and denied education. That is horrible. Horrible. But like you said, like back in the days, mental health, the way it was treated was very, very stigmatizing. Like when I did the episode on bipolar disorder, I remember like reading about like, because I was interested because I have bipolar disorder, so I was curious about like how people with bipolar disorder were treated back in like the 1950s and times like that, and I was like, oh my god, could you imagine if I was born in those times and that's how I would have been treated? So it's very, very sad how people were treated back in the day when mental health was like was not very like prevalent, and I feel like there has been a lot of progress in the medical fields along those lines. But once again, the stigmatization of a lot of different things needs to catch up with it. Like there's a lot of advances in medical and medicine and things like that, but it's people's mindsets towards different mental illnesses and things like that, which is what needs to catch up and be with the times, because people have a lot of things to say and a lot of backwards notions towards different things. So yeah, anyway, let's get back to the topic. However, ancient studies suggest they were sometimes treated with care and respect in early history. Institutionalization and neglect in the 19th to 20th century, forced separation throughout the 19th and much of the 20th century, parents were frequently advised by doctors to place children with Down syndrome in state institutions immediately after birth. Deplorable conditions. These institutions were often crowded, understaffed, and provided minimal care, leading to high mortality rates due to neglect. Lack of rights. Individuals were denied education, healthcare, and access to public spaces. Changeling myth. In earlier, more superstitious eras, children with disabilities were sometimes viewed as changelings. I don't know what that means. Or unnatural creatures left behind, sometimes leading to abuse or abandonment. That is horrible. That is horrible. Oh my god. I can't believe that's actually like the way people were back in those days. Horrible. Medical and social views. Stigmatization. They were widely labeled as feeble-minded, suffering from severe stigma. I don't like that. But that was how people were back in the day. There was not a lot of education on this things like this back in the day. Low life expectancy due to lack of medical care for common issues like heart defects. The life expectancy for those with Down syndrome was historically very low. Things have progressed since then, and I'm glad to hear that. And the shift in perspective. While 19th century saw increasing segregation, some religious leaders in ancient times, such as Augustine, argued that they should be treated as children of God. 100%. I agree with that. Emphasis on they should be treated as children of God. 100%. Or whatever God St. Augustine is, I'm assuming Catholic, so I'm assuming, but whatever religion somebody with Down syndrome practices, they should be treated as human beings no matter what. But back in the days, they weren't treated as such, and I hate hearing that. But I want to talk about it because I want to talk about the history of like things like this. So ancient and prehistoric treatment, possible acceptance. Some archaeological evidence from 4,500 years ago shows individuals with Down syndrome were buried with care, suggesting they may have been part of the community rather than entirely abandoned. So that's kind of promising to hear. But like I said, a lot of things from back in the day were definitely wouldn't fly today because there's a lot of progress and things like that. So by the 1980s, institutionalization began to decrease, moving toward community integration. I love that. Now let's talk about moving forward in regards to the destigmatizing Down syndrome. Let's talk about the progress. So we talked about a lot of the backwards mindsets in regards to Down. So let's talk about the forward, because I don't want to talk about a lot of the negative aspects of it. Let's talk about the forward aspects of it. So how can we help destigmatize it today so that we don't go backwards to how things were back in the day? Let's talk about it. Destigmatizing Down syndrome involves actively challenging stereotypes, promoting inclusion, and treating individuals with dignity, respect, and high expectations. Key actions include educating oneself to break down misconceptions, advocating for inclusive education in workplaces, which I'm about to do because I have a lot of facts on that, and supporting personal autonomy and using person-first language that highlights abilities rather than labels. Now, here are specific ways to destigmatize Down syndrome. Assume capability and value individuality. Avoid one-size-fits-all assumptions. Recognize that individuals with Down syndrome have diverse talents, passions, and potentials. Assume they are capable of learning, working, and making their own life choices. 100%. 100%. And I'm going to talk about the creators that I would love for people to follow. I'm going to shout out a lot of creators on social media. And I was looking at down the line of them, and I was like, a lot of them have different talents and capabilities and different fields that they're in and that they're creating content for. So like I said, stop assuming that just because somebody has Down syndrome, they're not capable of living great normal lives. I hate that stigmatization of it. Now, promote autonomy and independence. Treat adults with Down syndrome as adults by encouraging them to make their own decisions regarding their lives, social interactions, and daily tasks rather than doing everything for them. Use person-first language. Focus on the person, not the disability. Say person with Down syndrome rather than Down syndrome child, or I don't like this next word, so I'm not going to add to it by saying it. Challenge stereotypes and misconceptions. Actively fight against I can't even talk today. Actively fight against the notion that people with Down syndrome are always childlike, too affectionate, or incapable of leading meaningful lives. They are totally capable. Advocate for inclusive education and employment. Support policies and practices that offer equal access to education, competitive employment, and community participation. Educate others and promote representation. Share accurate information about Down syndrome to combat ignorance. Promote positive, accurate representation in media or daily life, and provide support and resources, which is I'm about to do. I have all of that on deck for this episode. So let's talk about the myths and the truths in regards to Down syndrome. Now, Down syndrome is a common genetic condition with not a rare illness or curse, and individuals with it are active, capable members of society. Truths show they attend school, work, and have relationships, and often live for 60 plus years. Myths often involve misconceptions about their health, intelligence, and independence. So let's talk about it. So common truths versus myths about Down syndrome. A myth is that it's a rare disorder. The truth is that Down syndrome is the most common chromosomal condition, occurring in about 1 in every 691 to 800 births in the U.S. A myth is that people with Down syndrome are all alike and always happy. Truth is that individuals have their own unique personalities, talents, and range of emotions, just like everyone else. And the myth is it is caused by something the parents did. The truth is that there is no known environmental cause. It is a random genetic event, an extra 21st chromosome. The myth is that they cannot live independent or long lives. The truth is that life expectancy has increased dramatically to nearly 60 to 80 years, and many live independently or in semi-independent settings. And the myth is that they cannot work or go to school. The truth is that children are included in regular classrooms and adults are employed in diverse fields like retail, hospitality, and corporate positions. And I did take a section of this episode and I dedicated it to talking about places that are inclusive in their employment. So we'll talk about that, and it's worldwide because I know this reaches globally. So I'm going to talk about the different places worldwide that employ inclusively. So let's get back to the topic. So myth, it is highly hereditary. The truth is that only 1% of cases have a hereditary component. Other 99% are random events. A myth is that adults with Down syndrome are perpetual children. I don't like that. The truth is that they are adults who experience the same emotional, social, and developmental milestones as their peers, 100%. Myth is that they cannot have relationships or marry. The truth is that many individuals with Down syndrome have meaningful friendships, date, and get married. 100%. You see a lot of it. And I hate the misconception. I hate the misconceptions that are out there. Now, this is the part where I shout out the content creators. Now, like I said, I see a lot of wonderful content creators on social media who either have Down syndrome or they have children or loved ones with Down syndrome. One of my favorites, I love watching her videos, is I think this is her Instagram, is im.upsyndromequeen_ on Instagram. She's also known as Elizabeth Rodriguez. On TikTok, she is at Oly and Liz. And she's the Up Syndrome Queen _. I love watching her videos with her daughter. They're so funny. It is so funny. Her daughter is so, like, she's so sassy and full of spunk. Like, I love it. Definitely follow her. It's speaking wrong. im.upsyndromequeen_. And another one I love watching is the _brother boys. Definitely, their stuff is so funny. I love it. And let me give you some more. I don't follow all of these people, but I love watching their videos. Like, I'll search up their videos. Love watching them. Let's show some representation in social media. So some popular Down syndrome content creators are reshaping representation, advocating for inclusion, and sharing authentic lifestyle content across social media platforms. There's some key influencers that include Madison Tevlin, Sophia Giroux, if I said that correctly, I'm not butchering it on purpose, Chef Adam Libby, and Mia Armstrong, who excel in fashion, cooking, modeling, and advocacy. They use their platforms to challenge stereotypes and showcase their talents. So let's talk about the top creators. We have Madison Tevlin. She's an actress, model, and podcaster known for her Webby Award-winning content. Promoting the message about her diagnosis is the least. She said the message that her diagnosis is the least interesting thing about her. So we have Sophia Giroux. If I'm saying that incorrectly, I apologize. It's not on purpose. She's a prominent fashion model, an entrepreneur, famous for becoming the first Victoria's Secret model with Down syndrome. I love that. Mia Armstrong. She's an actress, voice actor, and author who shares her experiences in the entertainment industry. We have Chef Adam Libby, a cooking content creator who shares recipes and showcases his skills in the kitchen. We have Anya Litvinova, a fitness influencer and advocate for inclusion and active lifestyles. We have the Brother Boys. I think I just shouted them out. Nate and Holly, popular creators focusing on family life and advocacy. We have Lily D. Moore. We have an actress and motivational speaker known for her work in television and inclusion advocacy. And some key platforms and themes. We have Instagram and TikTok. Many creators use Instagram for modeling and lifestyle sharing, while TikTok hosts short-form advocacy, dance, and humor content. We have lifestyle and advocacy. Creators often focus on daily routines, fashion, fitness, and cooking to demonstrate independence. Community support. Accounts like the Lucky Few and Dear Mom Conference provide resources and community for parents raising individuals with Down syndrome. Now, virtual representation. Kami with the K is Kami, the world's first virtual influencer with Down syndrome, created by Down Syndrome International to represent the community in the digital space. These creators are not just influencing trends, they are transforming public perception of Down syndrome, and I love that. That is definitely why I wanted to shout them out, so people can see there's more representation. I love that. Now, I definitely have to say, people with Down syndrome deserve dignity and respect, and they can live lives just like everyone else, and they can live meaningful lives and productive lives and full lives, often attending school, working, building relationships, and living independently or in supported environments. They're active community members with diverse interests, capable of learning, growing, and experiencing full range of emotions. So key aspects of life with Down syndrome: independence in housing. Many live on their own with roommates in the communities, moving beyond historic limitations. Education and employment. Individuals with Down syndrome attend school, participate in higher education, and hold jobs in various fields. Relationship and social life. They form friendships, date, and sometimes marry, challenging the misconception that they are perpetually children. And health and well-being. With advancements in medical care, the life expectancy for people with Down syndrome has risen over 60 years. While they face higher risks for certain health issues, they are often manageable, allowing for healthy, active lifestyles. And individuality. Down syndrome is a part of the person's identity, but it does not define them or dictate their potential, as each person has unique strengths and interests. Now, there have been many systemic challenges in regards to careers, which I will say are systemic issues and not at all due to any shortcomings, which they definitely don't have. There's definitely no shortcomings involved in why they're not being employed. It's very systemic. So let's talk about it, as well as different places that are inclusive and non-discriminatory. Now, systemic career issues for individuals with Down syndrome include high underemployment rates, limited job diversity, often restricted to food, service, or cleaning, and low career advancement opportunities, prevalent stereotypes, lower employer expectations, and lack of tailored training or support structures create significant barriers to finding meaningful work. Now, core systemic barriers, limited opportunities and segregation. Many are placed in sheltered workshops or segregated day programs rather than competitive integrated employment. Stereotyping and low expectations. Employers often have negative preconceived assumptions about the capabilities of individuals with Down syndrome, assuming they cannot handle complex tasks. Underutilization of skills. When employed, individuals are frequently restricted to entry-level roles such as food service, retail, or manual assembly, even if they possess skills in more advanced positions. And lack of tailored support. A lack of specialized job coaching, mentorship, and customized on-the-job training hinders successful long-term employment. And transportation infrastructure hurdles. Inadequate public transport in many areas limits the ability to reach job sites independently. And systemic benefit hurdles. Navigating or fear of losing government benefits like Medicaid waivers can create disincentives to earn higher incomes. Now, key workforce characteristics. Employment rate. While improving, studies show that employment rate around 53% for people with Down syndrome, often in part-time roles. Common industries. Major sectors include restaurant, food services, 19%, office and clerical, 19%, cleaning and custodial, 14%, and grocery stores, 12%. And the impact of support. Specialized initiatives such as the Down Syndrome Association's WorkFit program help bridge the gap between employers and job seekers. And here are some proposed solutions. Enhanced transition programs. Developing stronger individualized vocational training programs that begin before leaving school. Increase employer training. Educating businesses on how to provide effective, structured onboarding and visual supports to maximize productivity, and targeted support systems. Implementing tailored job coaching and fostering self-advocacy for employees. Now, several businesses and corporations worldwide actively hire individuals with Down syndrome, fostering inclusive workplaces, particularly in hospitality, food service, and retail. Prominent examples include Kopi Kamu in Jakarta, 21 Cafe in Dubai, Coletti's Cookies in Boston, and partnerships with Hilton Hotels in Russia and Turkey. So we have different places all over the world that are mentioned in this. So let's talk about it. So we have cafes and restaurants. Kopi Kamu in Jakarta, Indonesia. A cafe partnering with POTADS employs individuals with Down syndrome as baristas and servers. 21 Cafe in Dubai, located in the I don't know how to pronounce this, Gerrare Center. This cafe features a team of staff with Down syndrome. We have La Tour de Thermes. It's in the Netherlands. It's a petting zoo and cafe, often highlighted for its inclusive hiring. Barada's Italian restaurant in the USA, known for inclusive hiring practices. We have retail and specialized businesses. We have Coletti's Cookies in Boston, founded by Colette DeVito. This company has a mission to hire people with disabilities. And various inclusive bakeries. Many independent small batch bakeries focus on employing individuals with developmental disabilities. And hospitality and large corporations. Hilton Hotels in Turkey and Russia partnered with local Down syndrome associations to provide hospitality training and roles in housekeeping and service. And Uniqlo in Japan known to hire people with disabilities, including Down syndrome, in their retail stores. Now, initiatives and nonprofits. We have Down Syndrome International provides resources and studies on best practices for inclusive employment, and POTADS Indonesia, a community of parents that facilitate vocational training and employment. And then we have these locations often adapt to provide a supportive environment, such as using color-coded systems for coffee equipment, utilizing photo-based ordering systems, and providing job coaching and specialized training. Now, people with Down syndrome often face significant exclusion in healthcare and education due to implicit bias, lack of trained professionals, and poor communication support. While legal frameworks and early interventions have improved educational access, they still face segregation. Key progress includes growing advocacy, specialized health centers, and targeted educational tools. So let's dive into it. Exclusion in healthcare, systemic barriers. Adults with Down syndrome face low medical involvement. One study found nearly half had not seen a doctor in the 12 months prior, 1/3 had not in years. Bias and misconception. A 2024 NCD report highlights the explicit bias leads to poor outcomes, with people with disabilities frequently excluded from clinical trials. And transition failures. Only 11% of adolescents with Down syndrome meet transition care goals compared to 40% of peers with other special needs, often due to lack of specialized care. And mental and physical disparities. Lack of specialized training creates a stigma, exacerbates untreated co-occurring conditions, say researchers in this PMC article is what the research is saying. And racial intersectionality. Black and African American patients with Down syndrome often report lower quality care and lower access to services. So exclusion in education, segregation. Despite the legal right to inclusion education, many are placed in special education classrooms, limiting interactions with neurotypical peers and potentially stifling academic growth. And communication gaps. A lack of specialized communication supports, speech therapy, visual tools can hinder full participation in mainstream classroom environments. Now, here is the progress. I like to talk about the reality of what is going on and the stigmatization and the biases going on and the different things going on. But let's talk about the positive aspect, which is the progress and the advocacy. Targeted care models, a development, specialized clinics, adult Down syndrome centers is improving care quality. Early intervention programs 0 to 3 years are widely acknowledged as critical for development using tailored visual and communication tools. Advocacy and policy, campaigns like Forward Not Backwards are pushing for better legal protections and healthcare access. And research and funding, increased funding such as a $1.7 million grant aims to close the gaps in healthcare and improved inclusion. Increased awareness is driving better educational practices focused on personalized learning and inclusion within mainstream schools. And key recommendations provide mandatory standardized training for healthcare providers and on treating patients with intellectual disabilities. Strengthen transition planning from pediatric to adult care, and ensure full implementation of inclusive education policies, providing necessary support services. Now, supporting people with Down syndrome involves fostering independence, promoting inclusion, and using clear communication, such as visual aids and routine to help them thrive. Key practical actions include assuming capability, offering choices, providing consistent hands-on practice for life skills, and advocating for inclusive environments in school, work, and community settings. So just as much as I said there were disparities in the healthcare and education, here's how you can help advocate for change. Now, you can foster independence, treat adults with dignity, allowing them to try tasks independently, encourage self-help skills such as grooming and cooking at a young age. Use visuals and structure. Individuals with Down syndrome are often visual learners. Utilize visual schedules, checklists, and modeling rather than just verbal instructions. Clear communication. Speak clearly and allow extra time for processing information. Promote choice and autonomy. Offer choices to empower individuals rather than assuming their needs. And encourage social and physical activity. Support participation in social groups and regular physical exercise to maintain healthy well-being. Advocate for inclusion. Actively advocate for accessible public spaces and inclusive opportunities in education and employment. And utilize services. Leverage local resources like Gigi's Playhouse or the National Down Syndrome Society, NDSS, for specialized services, and monitor health, ensure regular medical checkups to address common health issues associated with Down syndrome. Key considerations: respect boundaries, respect personal space, preferences and autonomy, assume capability, provide opportunities similar to those given to anyone else, and focus on strengths. Recognize that they are capable of learning, doing, and achieving, just perhaps in a different way. Now let's talk about movies and entertainment. I know one of my favorite movies, I actually went to go see it with my mom and my sisters in the movie theater. It was my mom. My mom was like, let's go see it. Let's go see it. It was Peanut Butter Falcon. So let's talk about movies and entertainment. Excuse me. Just had a soda. And it's making me very, like, I have to upchuck. So I'm trying to, like, lean away from the microphone before I... Okay, so several movies and TV shows feature actors with Down syndrome in leading or significant roles, promoting inclusion and representation. And notable examples, The Peanut Butter Falcon. I love that movie. Such a good movie. The series Born This Way, and the dating show Down for Love. These productions often highlight personal journeys, relationship, and daily lives. So let's dive in. Hold on. First, I gotta sit up because my back is hurting the way I'm sitting. Oh, my goodness. Hold on, guys. Let me stand up. Oh, I'm an old lady. 34, but I feel like I have the body of like an 80-year-old, I feel like. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So let's talk about it. So we have The Peanut Butter Falcon, 2019 film. Stars Zach Gottsagen. I'm not butchering it on purpose. As a young man with Down syndrome pursuing his dreams. We have Champions 2023, a comedy featuring actors with intellectual disabilities, including Madison Tevlin. My Hero Brother, a 2016 film, a documentary about young people with Down syndrome trekking to the Himalayas. We have Cafe de Flore, features Marion Guerriere as a young boy with Down syndrome. We have The Eighth Day, a 1996 film, focuses on the friendship between a busy man and a man with Down syndrome. We have Buddies, a 2012 film, a Brazilian film about 3 young people with Down syndrome who run away. Here are some TV shows and series. Born This Way on A&E follows 7 young adults with Down syndrome navigating life, careers, and relationships. We have Down for Love on Netflix, a documentary series following people with Down syndrome who looking for romance. We have Life Goes On. It's in 1989 to 1993. Featured Chris Burke as Charles Corky Thatcher, one of the first major TV roles for an actor with Down syndrome. We have Glee, included Lauren Potter, and a recurring role as Becky Jackson. We have The Secret Life of American Teenager, featured Luke Zimmerman. We have some documentaries. We have Educating Peter in 1992 and Graduating Peter 2001. Documentaries following a student with Down syndrome in mainstream classrooms. We have Up Syndrome 2000 documentary. These roles reflect a growing trend towards authentic casting in Hollywood, with actors like Kevin Iannucci also finding success. Now, I love that. Also, I did see, if you are an American Horror Story fan, I've been a fan since like the first season, but I stopped watching for a while. I just saw, and I screenshot it because it was when I was like doing research for this topic. So I just saw they cast Jamie Brewer. She was from season 1. She was on season 1. She was Jamie Brewer. She played Adelaide Langdon in season 1. She's a beautiful girl with Down syndrome. She was in American Horror Story. She will be back for this season coming up for season 13. I'm actually going to watch this season. I stopped watching, but I think I'm going to watch. And I can't wait. I love American Horror Story. I can't wait to see what they do for season 13. I hear everyone's coming back. I hear Jessica Lange is coming back. Everyone's coming back. So I definitely have to tune in for that. I thought I'd mention that. I have to like research that. But she's definitely going to be back for season 13. Where are my notes? So yeah, definitely tune into that. So yeah, I definitely love the inclusivity that the entertainment business is starting to have. I wish, they had that in the entertainment industry. I wish there was more along the lines for, regular everyday people that just want a job and make a living, I'm glad there's a lot of progress in that, and I hope it continues. definitely there needs to be more inclusivity in the employment industry, like different industries. 100%. Like, yes, I love that. So let's talk about. I'm going to give you some resources now. So here are some key resources for people with Down syndrome, including national advocacy organizations. So we have national organizations and support. The NDSS provides resources on education, research, and advocacy, including a helpline. NDSC, which offers support for individuals, families, and professionals, including a convention. The Global Down Syndrome Foundation focuses on research in medical care and education. The Down Syndrome Diagnosis Network supports new and expectant parents. And the DS Connect, NIH supported registry for sharing information and research, and the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.gov. And then we have some local and specialized source resources. We have Gigi's Playhouse, provides free therapeutic, educational, and career development programs. Locations vary in New York City. We have adult clinics, specialized health clinics for adults with Down syndrome. The Special Olympics, it offers it offers sports training and athletic competition. We have the Woodbine House. It is a publisher specializing in books about Down syndrome. We have regional resources, New York and WNY focused. Down syndrome parents group of WNY offers support groups, social activities, and lending library. Down syndrome AIM High Resource Center provides local support services in New York. We have the Association for Children with Down Syndrome. It provides programs for children and families. And we have early intervention services for infants and toddlers, often found via state-level resources. We have education. We have information on individualized education programs with special education services and medical care. Centers like the Kennedy Krieger Institute, We have the centers like the Kennedy Krieger Institute specialize in Down syndrome research and care. Now we have many prominent individuals with Down syndrome breaking barriers, including actors I'm hoping I'm saying this correct. Zach Gottsagen, Jamie Brewer, and Sarah Gordy, and models Madeline Stewart and Ellie Goldstein, and athlete Chris I think it's Nike. I'm hope I'm not butchering this. Celebrities with family members who have Down syndrome include Katerina Scorsone, Joey Feek, and Julie Newmar, who frequently advocate for inclusion and disability rights. So let's talk about it. So we have Zach Gottsagen, an actor known for his role in Peanut Butter Falcon. We have Madeline Stewart. She's recognized as the first professional model with Down syndrome walking in New York Fashion Week. We have Jamie Brewer, actress known for her roles in American Horror Story. We have Lauren Potter. She's an actress best known for playing Becky Jackson on the television show Glee. We have Chris Burke, who is an actor who played Charles Corky Thatcher in the TV series Life Goes On. We have Pablo Pineda. He's a Spanish actor, writer, and teacher the first person with Down syndrome in Europe to obtain a university degree. I love that. See what I said? Like, a lot of me doing this topic, I like to mention people, like celebrities, because I like to, a lot of the celebrities that I mentioned have gone through things or are living examples of they're proving the stigmas against certain topics. Like, this is Down syndrome we're talking about. This man, Pablo Pineda, and all these people I'm mentioning are proving a lot of the stereotypes and the stigmatized view of things wrong. And this exact example is that he was an actor, and he was the first person with Down syndrome in Europe to obtain a university degree. So that's definitely challenging the stereotype that they can't go on to live meaningful lives and garner success. And a lot of these people I'm mentioning, like Zach Gottsagen, Madeline Stewart, Jamie Brewer, Lauren Potter, Chris Burke, all these people I'm about to mention are definitely proving that stereotype and those stigmas wrong. So let's go on the list. We have Sarah Gordy. She's an actress known for roles in Upside. I cannot talk. I'm like stumbling over my words. We have Sarah Gordy, an actress known for her roles in Upstairs, Downstairs, and The Call of the Midwife. We have Madison Tevlin. She's an influencer and actress. We have Tommy Jessup, actor known for Coming Down the Mountain. We have Ellie Goldstein. She's a model known for campaigns with Gucci and Vogue. Look at that. See what I mean? Like, a lot of these people I'm mentioning are proving the stereotypes and the stigmatized view of things wrong. So we have I don't want to butcher this name. He's an athlete. He's Chris. It's spelled Nikic. He's the first person with Down syndrome to complete the Ironman triathlon. We have Colette DeVito. She's an entrepreneur and founder of Colette's Cookies. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all these people with the success that they have. Just because you have, Down syndrome, if you have autism, you have bipolar disorder, you have anything along those lines, you are capable of so much success that just because somebody has a stigmatized view towards you doesn't mean that you can't prove them wrong. So that's why I'd love to do this part of it. We have Lily D. Moore. She's an actress known for her roles in Never Have I Ever and High School Musical, the musical, and the series. We have Sophia Sanchez. She's an actress and model. We have Grace Strobel. She's a model and public speaker, and celebrities with family members. We have Katerina Scorsone. She's a Grey's Anatomy actress who frequently advocates for her daughter, Pippa. We have Rory Feek, a country singer who documents life with daughter Indiana. Julie Newmar. She's an actress known as Catwoman in the 1960s Batman, who has a son with Down syndrome. We have Maria Doyle Kennedy, an Irish singer and actress with an adult son with Down syndrome. We have Lisa Gungor. She's a musician who wrote about her daughter Lucy. And Amanda Booth. She's a model and actress whose son Mika is a model. And many of these individuals are advocates for the Global Down Syndrome Foundation, which works to raise funds and awareness for research and medical care. Now, this is my favorite part, and I know, sadly, I wanted this to be longer because I am feeling guilty because I'm like, I want more information to put into this, but I'm giving my best on this topic. And, let's talk about my favorite part, the affirmations. So here are the affirmations you can use an everyday life to remind yourself. Affirmations for people with Down syndrome are things like, I am worthy of respect, love, and opportunity. My voice matters and I deserve to be heard. I am capable of learning, growing, and achieving my goals. I bring joy, value, and uniqueness to the world. I am more than any label. I am a whole person. I deserve independence and support in ways that help me thrive. I am proud of who I am and all that I can do. I am allowed to move at my own pace. I deserve friendships, community, and belonging. My differences are a part of what makes me special, not less. I can try new things and succeed in my own way, and I deserve to be included always. Now, here's some affirmations for the caregivers. I'm doing my best, and that is enough. My care, patience, and love make a difference every day. I'm allowed to ask for help and support. I can take care of myself while caring for others. I celebrate progress no matter how small it may seem. I am learning and growing alongside the person I support. It's okay to feel a range of emotions. I honor them without judgment. I am alone. There is a community that understands. My efforts matter, even on the hard days. I deserve rest, compassion, and understanding too. I am strong, resilient, and capable. Love shows up in little moments, and I give that every day. Now, just want to say, you are loved, you are capable, you are not a burden, and you are very, very capable of doing everyday things. So yeah, those are my affirmations. That's my favorite part. That's what It Gets Better is all about. So thank you guys for listening. I hope I covered everything. I really tried my best when doing the research for this topic. I really tried my best to find the things that I wanted to talk about and the things that I felt helpful. I really put my all, I really worked hard on trying to figure out what to include in this episode because it did lack a lot of relatability. It lacked a lot of me giving personal stories. I had a lot of facts. I had to say a lot of things that I thought along the way. I gave a lot of informative information, things to help, a lot of facts. I hope I covered everything. I really do this podcast with a lot of intentional, thoughtful, information I try to give out. I say a lot of intentional things that I try to be helpful with. I love to be a mental health advocate. I love to give all these topics my all. And it may be only 43 minutes into it. I did my best. I really did my best. And anybody who listens and finds this episode informative and helpful, I hope I hope I did my best. I hope I didn't miss anything because I'm really feeling like, oh my God, it's less than any other topic. But listen, thank you guys for listening. Like I said, I hope I covered everything that needs to be covered. My next episode will be about cooking, baking in regards to mental health and how therapeutic it is. Now, if you're anyone you know it needs help globally, if someone is struggling anywhere in the world, here are some international directories for help in almost any country. We have International Association for Suicide Prevention. It maintains a worldwide directory of crisis centers and helplines. We have Befrienders Worldwide, a network with hundreds of emotional support centers in dozens of countries offering phone, email, and chat support. We have Find a Helpline. It's an online help tool that connects people to crisis lines in many countries and languages. The website is findahelpline.com. These directories are helpful because they allow people to search by country and local crisis support quickly. Now that I talked about the global suicide prevention lifelines, you can text HOME to 741-741, the crisis text line, for a free confidential conversation with a trained counselor any time of day. You can text or call 988 or use the chat function at 988lifeline.org. 988 continues to offer support to anyone who needs it, but no longer offers specialized LGBTQ plus support. If you're looking for specialized LGBTQ plus support, you can contact the Trevor Project directly. You can call 1-866-488-7386. You can text START to 678-678 or connect online at trvr.org/get-help. And you can find more crisis resources at thejedfoundation.org/crisis. The new lifeline in Canada for the LGBTQIA+ is 1-877-330-6366. You can call the NAMI helpline at 800-950-6264. You can text NAMI to 62640. And you can find help tool at twloha.com/find-help and peer support groups at twloha.com/peer support and the mental health toolkit and mentalhealthtoolkit.co, or you can text the crisis text line. You can text TWLOHA to 741-741. Now, thank you guys for listening. I'll see you next time. Remember, this too shall pass. And I just want to remind anybody who is listening, and I just want you to know you're not a burden. You are loved. You are capable of many, many things. Regardless of what the world tells you, you are not capable of. You are loved. You are strong. You are enough. You are smart. I want you to know you are so loved. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Stay well. I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will be back next week, and the topic is something I'm very passionate about. As I'm passionate about every topic I do, because I'm a mental health advocate. I'm very passionate about everything I talk about. So I will be back next week. I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm talking in circles now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay well. Bye-bye, guys.